If you're a man dealing with urgency, dribbling, weak stream, or those exhausting nighttime bathroom trips, you're not alone. These symptoms are incredibly common after 50. And while the prostate plays a major role, many men don't realize that the bladder reacts just as strongly to something much simpler: how you hydrate throughout the day. The way you drink water, not just how much, can calm irritation, reduce urgency, and make your bladder feel more relaxed. The best part? These strategies cost nothing, require no medication, and can fit into any routine without stress. Small, natural daily habits can bring surprising comfort when done correctly. And stay with me because later in this video, I'll reveal one simple morning change that many of my patients say transformed their bathroom habits almost immediately. It's easy, gentle, and you can start it tomorrow. Let's begin with the basics. Quick prostate and bladder connection. To understand why hydration makes such a difference, it helps to know how the prostate and bladder work together. The prostate is a small gland found only in men. It sits just below the bladder and wraps around the urethra, the tube that carries urine out of the body. When you're younger, this setup works smoothly, but as men age, the prostate often becomes larger, a condition known as benign prostatic hyperplasia or BPH. This enlargement doesn't mean cancer, but it does mean the prostate starts pressing against the urethra, creating resistance like squeezing a garden hose. This pressure doesn't change based on how much water you drink. Hydration cannot shrink the prostate. However, hydration does change what the bladder feels every time urine passes through that area. When you're low on water, your urine becomes highly concentrated. This concentrated urine is acidic and irritating. It doesn't hurt the prostate itself, but it does irritate the bladder lining, which sits right next to the prostate. When the bladder is irritated, its nerves fire more quickly. That means you feel more urgency, more frequency, and more nighttime trips. Here's the key connection. BPH creates physical pressure. Irritated bladder nerves amplify the symptoms. When both happen together, the discomfort becomes much worse. Concentrated urine also causes the bladder outlet, the region near the prostate, to tighten reflexively. A tighter outlet makes it harder to start urinating, increases hesitancy, and often leads to dribbling after you finish. This isn't caused by the prostate growing, it's caused by the bladder reacting to irritation. Hydration can't change prostate size, but it can dilute urine, calm bladder nerves, reduce irritation, help the outlet muscles relax, support smoother flow. This is why men often say their symptoms are worse first thing in the morning or later in the day. Their bodies have gone hours without water, and the bladder becomes increasingly irritated. Understanding this bladder-prostate relationship is the foundation for why proper hydration patterns work so well. By calming the bladder, you make the effects of BPH feel less intense, more predictable, and easier to manage. Why hydration matters for men. 50 plus, hydration becomes far more important and more complicated. After age 50, younger men can get away with inconsistent drinking habits because their bladder lining is more resilient. Their thirst signals are sharper, and their pelvic muscles respond quickly. But as we age, these systems naturally slow down. That's why hydration affects urinary comfort differently for older men. The primary benefit of proper hydration is diluted urine. When your urine is diluted, it's gentle. It passes through the bladder and past the prostate without triggering irritation. Diluted urine keeps urgency lower, reduces burning sensations, and helps maintain a steady flow. Think of it like rinsing a sensitive surface with clean water instead of a harsh chemical. On the flip side, dehydration increases urgency. When water intake drops, urine becomes thicker and more acidic. This irritates the bladder, tightens the outlet, and amplifies the pressure created by an enlarged prostate. Many men assume their prostate suddenly got worse, but in reality, the bladder is reacting to concentrated urine. Another reason hydration matters is that waiting for thirst doesn't work well after 50. Thirst is a delayed signal. By the time you feel thirsty, you're already behind on fluids. Older adults often mistake thirst for fatigue, hunger, or just midday sluggishness. Meanwhile, the bladder has been irritated for hours. 4 common hydration mistakes men make. For many men, urinary symptoms become worse not because of how much water they drink, but because of how they drink it. Certain everyday habits unintentionally irritate the bladder or create pressure at the wrong times. Here are 4 of the most common mistakes men over 50 make. and each one can quietly make BPH symptoms feel worse. 1. Coffee before water, the shotgun start. After a full night without fluids, your body wakes up mildly dehydrated. When you choose coffee before water, you're adding a diuretic before replenishing your fluid levels. This causes your kidneys to push out even more water. The result? Highly concentrated morning urine, which irritates the bladder and triggers urgency. A simple glass of water before coffee helps your body ease into the day with less stress on the urinary tract. Second, the desert to flood pattern. Many men drink almost nothing throughout the day, then try to catch up by chugging large amounts in the evening. This pattern creates daytime irritation from concentrated urine and nighttime disruption from a bladder suddenly filled to capacity. The bladder works best with steady, gentle intake, not droughts, followed by floods. Avoiding extremes helps reduce urgency and nighttime awakenings. Third, morning overload, chugging large amounts at once. Some men try to power flush their system by drinking a full liter of water upon waking. While well-intentioned, this overwhelms the bladder. When too much liquid enters at once, the bladder stretches quickly, creating that uncomfortable pressure and making it harder to fully empty. For men with BPH, this can contribute to dribbling or a feeling of incomplete emptying. 4. Waiting for thirst. Thirst is a late warning signal, especially after 50. By the time you feel thirsty, your urine has already become concentrated and your bladder may already be irritated. Relying on thirst leads to periods of hidden dehydration that worsen urgency and fatigue. Small, regular sips prevent this problem and keep the bladder calmer throughout the day. Understanding these mistakes allows you to make small adjustments that bring real improvements. Hydration habits don't need to be complicated, just consistent, steady, and gentle. The correct hydration routine. Now that you understand the most common hydration mistakes, let's build a simple routine that supports smoother urinary comfort throughout the day. This routine is easy to follow, requires no special equipment, and works well for most men over 50. 1. Warm water in the morning, optional lemon. Start your day with a warm glass of water at around 300 to 400 milliliters. Warm water is gentle on the stomach and helps ease your body out of its overnight dehydration. Some men enjoy adding a small squeeze of lemon because it provides a refreshing taste. However, men with sensitive bladders may prefer plain water. The key benefit is hydration itself, not the lemon. 2. The steady sipping method. Instead of drinking big amounts all at once, take small sips throughout the day. Think of it like keeping a steady fuel supply rather than dumping everything in at once. Aim for a few ounces every hour. This keeps urine diluted and prevents the bladder from becoming irritated. It also helps avoid the desert to flood cycle that leads to urgency during the day and disruptions at night. 3. Afternoon, swap, water before coffee. Many men hit a slump around 2 or 3 p.m. and automatically reach for coffee. But afternoon tiredness is often caused by mild dehydration. Before reaching for caffeine, drink a full glass of water and wait 10 to 15 minutes. You may notice your energy returning naturally. If you still want a warm drink afterward, choose herbal tea or a smaller coffee to avoid overstimulating the bladder later in the day. 4. Smart evening cutoff. To reduce nighttime bathroom trips, finish your last full glass of water 45 to 60 minutes before bed. This gives your body time to process fluids without keeping your bladder active during the night. You can still take small sips if your mouth feels dry, but avoid large nighttime drinks. 5. Simple reminders for consistency. Keep a water bottle nearby, set small timers, or pair drinking water with habits you already have, like after meals or during short breaks. Consistency matters more than volume. This routine creates a balanced hydration pattern that supports calmer bladder function, smoother flow, and more comfortable days and nights, without overwhelming your system. Hydration also affects your energy levels. When the body is even mildly dehydrated, blood becomes slightly thicker. That slows circulation and can cause afternoon fatigue. Many men grab a coffee at this point, thinking they need caffeine. But often what they really need is water. Proper hydration restores alertness more naturally and doesn't create bladder strain the way caffeine does. Here's the practical, masculine way to think about it. Hydration equals smoother function. Just like a machine runs better when properly lubricated, your urinary system works better when it's consistently hydrated, not overloaded, not starved, but steadily supplied throughout the day. For men in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, hydration becomes a strategic tool. It's not about drinking huge amounts of water, it's about drinking in the right pattern. Proper hydration softens the bladder's reactions and reduces the intensity of BPH symptoms. It's one of the simplest ways to support daily comfort without medications or supplements. What hydration can improve. Hydration is one of the simplest tools men over 50 can use to support better urinary comfort, but it's important to understand exactly what it can and cannot do. When used correctly, healthy hydration patterns reduce strain on the bladder and help your urinary system work more smoothly throughout the day. The biggest benefit is that hydration reduces bladder irritation. When urine is diluted, it becomes gentler on the bladder lining. This means fewer false alarms, less burning, and a calmer sensation overall. Bladder irritation is one of the main reasons urgency feels so strong, so reducing that irritation makes a real difference. Proper hydration also helps manage urgency. When the bladder is calm, its nerves don't fire as quickly, and the signal to urinate becomes more predictable. This doesn't cure prostate enlargement, but it does help you feel more in control. Another improvement many men notice is a steadier flow sensation. When the bladder and outlet muscles are not irritated or tightening reflexively, urination starts more smoothly and ends more comfortably. While hydration cannot change the physical narrowing caused by BPH, it can soften the bladder's reaction to that narrowing, making the process feel easier. Hydration may also reduce nighttime trips. By avoiding the desert to flood pattern and finishing most fluids earlier in the evening, many men find their bladder stays quieter at night. Better sleep improves mood, energy, and overall well-being. Speaking of energy, hydration plays a major role in supporting circulation and reducing fatigue. Even mild dehydration can thicken the blood slightly, slowing circulation. When you hydrate properly, your body delivers oxygen and nutrients more efficiently. Many men mistakenly think they need more caffeine in the afternoon when what they really need is water. But here's the most important message. Hydration is not a cure for BPH. It does not shrink the prostate, open the urethra, reverse obstruction, cure weak stream. Hydration supports comfort, not prostate size. Think of it as putting your urinary system in the best possible state to deal with BPH, not eliminating BPH itself. By setting realistic expectations, you can appreciate the meaningful improvements hydration offers while understanding its limitations. It's a powerful tool, but not a medical treatment. Extra supportive steps for urinary comfort. Hydration is a strong foundation for urinary comfort, but real improvement often comes from combining it with a few additional habits that support the bladder, pelvic muscles, and overall health. These steps are simple, free, and easy to incorporate at any age. One of the most helpful tools is pelvic floor exercises, sometimes called Kegels for men. These exercises strengthen the muscles that control the start and stop of urination. When these muscles are stronger, post-void dribble decreases, flow improves, and urgency can feel more manageable. Even a few minutes a day can make a difference over time. Another important step is limiting caffeine and alcohol, especially in the afternoon and evening. Both act as bladder irritants and diuretics, meaning they increase urine production and irritate the bladder lining. This combination leads to more urgency, weaker control, and more nighttime trips. You don't have to eliminate them completely. Even reducing intake can calm symptoms noticeably. Reducing evening fluids is a simple but powerful habit. Finish your last full glass of water 45 to 60 minutes before bed. This gives your bladder time to empty before sleep and reduces nighttime interruptions. Sip only small amounts afterward if needed. Daily movement, such as light walking, supports healthy blood flow to the pelvic region, improves energy, and helps with weight control. Men who sit for long hours often experience more pelvic tension and bladder pressure. Even a 10 to 15-minute walk once or twice a day can relieve that discomfort. Weight management also plays a key role. Excess abdominal weight can press down on the bladder and worsen BPH symptoms. You don't need dramatic weight loss. Even losing a small amount can make urination more comfortable and reduce nighttime frequency. Finally, it's important to know when to speak with a doctor. While lifestyle habits can improve comfort, they do not replace medical evaluation. Seek medical advice if you experience blood in urine, painful urination, sudden worsening of symptoms, repeated nighttime urination that disrupts sleep severely, weak stream or inability to empty the bladder, fever with urinary symptoms. These could indicate infection, obstruction, or other issues that require treatment. Combining hydration with these practical habits creates a powerful, natural approach to managing urinary symptoms, helping you stay comfortable, confident, and in control. As we come to the end of this video, I want to leave you with a message of encouragement. Urinary symptoms can be frustrating, uncomfortable, and sometimes even embarrassing, but they are also incredibly common, and most men experience them as they get older. You are not alone, and you are not powerless. The small steps you take each day can make a very real difference in how you feel, how you sleep, and how confidently you move through your life. Remember that everything we covered today is simple, natural, and completely free. You don't need expensive supplements, drastic changes, or complicated routines. What works best for most men is consistency. Those small, steady choices you make hour by hour. A glass of warm water in the morning, gentle sipping through the day, a smarter afternoon routine, fewer evening drinks, and a bit more awareness of how your bladder reacts. These are not dramatic steps, but together, they create a powerful shift toward better comfort. Your urinary system responds best to calm, predictable habits. When you give your body the hydration pattern it needs, you support your bladder, ease irritation, and reduce the stress that makes BPH symptoms feel worse. This is not a cure for prostate enlargement, but it is a way to help your body function more smoothly and comfortably despite it. So take one or two habits from today's video and start them tomorrow. You don't need to be perfect, just consistent. Even small daily changes can add up to big improvements over time. Many men tell me they felt a difference within a few days once they adjusted their hydration routine. Let this be a gentle reminder that progress is absolutely possible. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you believe these hydration strategies can help, type yes. If you're still unsure or skeptical, type 0. Your response helps other men feel supported, and it also tells me what topics you want me to cover next. Stay hopeful, stay encouraged, and stay consistent. Little by little, your bladder can become calmer, your nights can become quieter, and your days can feel more comfortable. Thank you for spending this time with me today, and take good care of yourself.